Hi, welcome to a video of my flea market finds for Saturday, April 12th, 2025. So, the first seller from whom I bought something was a seller that I bought stuff the previous week, or not the previous week, but a while ago, not too long, earlier this year. So I got a few things here, some leftovers from last time he brought stuff, some stuff I thought, well, let's pick it up. I already have one of these, but I thought it would be cool to have a second one if I could include it in a lot, since it would allow me to display both French and English sides eventually somewhere. It's an old bag of Robin Hood. This is a how to call a deer, and the record is in. Oh, hell, okay. And the record is inside. Just a generic label, made in Canada. So it seems that it's by Paul Grenier and André Y. Croteau. I was hoping to find the record that was missing from the empty envelope I got that time by Guy Provost, and the record wasn't there. Got this French, I was going to say pressing, keep picking up records, French edition from France of Roquet Belles Oreilles, which is Huckleberry Hound. And I know that French versions are worthless, or almost, but I picked it up because it has a story I really like. Well, it has some Flintstones, Yogi. Oh shit, it came loose, almost. It's almost loose, but yes, this Pixie Dixie Monsieur Jules. What is that in French again? Mr. Jinx, I guess. And they make him believe he gained weight, so they play with the scale. Tries to lose weight, then he thinks he weighs nothing, then he thinks he weighs under, like so. When he thinks he weighs nothing, he force feeds himself, gets fatter, and he still thinks he weighs less than 0, so he force feeds himself, and a nice tummy there. Oh, he thinks he's 150. Here it says 150 pounds, then it says 150 kilos. It's dubbed in French. Anyway, so pretty cool. I left this behind last time, decided to take it. The Perspective supplements from Dimanche Matin newspaper. This is now the oldest edition I have of this supplement, this magazine, if you want to call it. 26th of October 1968. I wasn't very old, I was just a few months old when this was. And this is Jean Lesage's funeral. So that's why I left it behind. Oh, Jean Lesage, I don't care. I decided to pick it up for the cool old ads. I think it's missing a quarter of a page because somebody cut out a coupon. Yeah, right here. Yeah, Elmer plus tomato juice has an old box of Rice Krispies. So that's what Rice Krispies looked like when I was a baby. But some old ads. I'm sure this dog is dead by now. Yeah, that's Danielle Johnson's funeral. Oh shit, Iowa, reel to reel. Well, that looks like a 2-head. Don't care for 2-head recorders anymore. I'm looking for 3-head reel to reels. I mean, that's rice. Juicy fruit. Ronson blender? What the hell? No, they made, but it's the back ad I love. My mom had one of those. Might I even have it somewhere in a box? And I just like the ad. I added this to the lot, and jackpot, this wonderful paper placemat of our national treasure. Well, he passed away recently. Of Guy Lafleur, number 10, Canadien. I'm not a sports fan at all, but except for the Canadien period of the late 70s when they kept winning Stanley Cup after Stanley Cup, just because it reminds me of certain relatives when they visited on a Saturday once or twice a year. My cousins insisted on watching the game, so the background soundtrack of the TV broadcast of the game, the names, it brings me memories just for that. Shot pass à la fleur, c'est le but. Anyway, so there's 2 of them. And I forgot to check the date with a magnifying glass, but I think it says 1978, but I'm not sure. 2 of them. That's my favorite find of the lot, of this lot here. So all this I got it for $10 because I made myself a price. How much would I pay for all this? I thought $10, and I said how much? He said $10. I started laughing. This is exactly what I thought. Second purchase, $2 for 2 DVDs, $1 each. I didn't even bother looking at through the whole box. I should have perhaps, because anyway, I got Shitty Shitty Bang Bang because recently I've been on this year Dick Van Dyke is turning 100. I recently found the Shitty Shitty Bang Bang soundtrack LP, and never seen the movie. I don't know when I'm going to watch this, but it has 2 discs. I think the supplement disc is for I don't know, bonus stuff. I've checked the discs and they're in good shape. I got this for $1, and I really frantically looked through the box of stuff quickly to see if there were other Hanna-Barbera sets like this. It was the only one. I've never watched White Oasis at all. It's not furry enough for me. There's just what's his name, dog there, with the laugh he stole from Precious Pup, which is what I remember for that laugh. But I mostly remember him from I think he's the one we see in the Radio Buttons in the Laugh Olympics. Anyway, got it. There's like 3 discs in there, all in good shape. $1. I said, shit, okay, I'm going to take it. So I got this for $2. And then I got some right next to this seller. Another seller was selling all kinds of stuff he got somewhere. He had some sort of blanket that was in a plastic bag. I've offered him $1 for the plastic bag. This is old. This is 40, 50 years old. Rona, Quincaillier Rona. This is a store that, well, the logo itself with the bird in color is rare. I mean, I'm glad I got this for $1. My goodness. Hardware store is the word I was looking for. Then I've overpaid for a lot in a box. I was so heartbreaking because the records were in incredible shape. It was a box of LPs and some 78s. This is the bag that I got my pal here for $10. But the records are worthless. That's the problem. Half of the LPs were sealed, like early 60s stuff, but all garbage, like worthless records. I left 5 behind, 5 sealed records. I should have added to the lot. I'm sure I would have gotten the lot for the same price. This one is just a old French singer. I have a few 70s by Tohama, and I know I have this record somewhere, or the empty cover. I know I have at one point I had some empty covers. I don't know where or how I got empty covers. I kept them to put records with no sleeves. We're talking going back 30 years. Anyway, this one, besides a tiny little damage on because these stupid London records of this era always split, always. So it's pretty rare to find one that's only has a little bit of damage here. Record is like unplayed, like my goodness, but it's just this. It's worthless. And the ones I left behind was a Joe Dassin record. I already have a sealed copy, a Fernand Gignac record, a Edith Piaf record. Wait, Edith Piaf, Joe Dassin, Fernand Gignac. I already forgot what the 2 others were, but I should have added them to the pile. I would still have gotten the lot for $10. I mostly bought the lot to have this beautiful condition books of 78s I'm starting to collect now, because it's more practical than records in sleeves. And these are the best condition ones I've ever seen. There was a third one, 12-inch, with a couple of classical 12-inch 78s plus some 10-inch 78s floating in the 12-inch pages. So I swapped a few to try to get less sucky record, although nothing here is worth anything. What's incredible about these 78s is oh, this one is in bad shape. Okay, that's a surprise, because all of them, except for this one that I just right here discovered it's not mint, all of them look like they've never, except for that one, most of them, let's say most of them look like they've never been played at all. Like, whoa, like, I would be glad, I'm glad when I find LPs in this condition. This is a freaking 78. Whoa, this is like new old stock. It's no spindle marks. You see, there's one spindle mark, so it's been played one side once. That's it. I haven't played any of them yet. I don't want to play them on my Electro Home cheap record player. I want to play on my better turntable. And although the titles and singers, the artists, completely worthless, I could not leave them behind. I can't leave sealed LPs behind when they're garbage, like records like worthless that I have in good condition and open. But I should so most of the Pièces Sénécales and Dean Edwards, and En veillant sur le perron by Dominique Michel. I don't know, let's go through them really quickly. Je tiens à toi, Dean Edwards, but it's in bad shape. La cause de tout ça, c'est toi. Espère que tu vivras, André Lejeune. Approche, André Lejeune. Amour frivole, Norman Knight. Baccio d'Amor, Pierre Sénécal, Y'a que toi, Anita, Pourquoi pas, Dean Edwards, brand new. Mais puisqu'il faut se quitter, En veillant sur le perron, a big hit by Dominique Michel in 57, recorded in New York City. And I think she said that Quincy Jones was part of the studio of musicians on this recording. I'm not kidding. This is, yeah, exactly. And La Famille on this side. Le Petit Lutin, I already have a clean copy of this, but I was hoping to find Rocket Rock'n'Roll. No. That would have made my day. Le Petit Lutin, Denis Fiatro and Jacques Laurent. This side is just Denis Fiatro, Freddy. This is extremely common, but brand new. Je n'ai fait que passer by Fernand Gignac, his first record, Vive l'amour à Calypso. Fernand Gignac, for those who still don't know, who are not regular viewers of my videos, was a French-Canadian Bing Crosby. He even had the pipe. Tango des jours heureux, Allons ma chérie, sois sage. A yodeling singer, Janine Lévesque, Viens plus près de moi, chérie, and this is the yodeling side, refrain tyrolien. These 10 records in the second album, another Fernand Gignac, Prière à Dame Marie and Madonna, Lynn Renault. It's all worthless records, but they're so new. Briona Serra, Mon cœur au Portugal. This looks interesting. 1958 contest, music contest. Viens avec moi et tu verras by les collégiens Troubadour. Looks brand new. And Une amourette. Another copy. I don't know why this person had 2 copies. Je n'ai fait que passer again by Fernand Gignac. I don't know. This is Caterina Valente, recorded by Polydor in Paris. Sait-on jamais? Extremely common. Où es-tu ma joie? Parle de Noël, le plus beau tango du monde, and Légende de la mer, Vierge Marie, Parle de Noël again. Ma prière, Fiesta Créole by Rina Ketsi, Padre Don José, Roland et Robert, I think it's Roland Desormeaux, and Robert L'Herbier, because I know they were a couple. Quadrille au village, and this side is Canastos. Janine Michel, du moment qu'on s'aime, on dit. So I should have offered $5, or I should have added the 5 LPs I left behind. Anyway, $10. A little bit more than what it's worth, but the books are so clean. Anyway, and what's next? Where's my little paper? There we go. So $10 for that lot. Some lady was selling food she found somewhere. I think some people go to estate sales and yard sales. They sometimes bring whatever was in the pantry. I got these 2 bags of pasta because I only eat whole wheat, brown pasta, macaroni and penne here. How much? 1 pound, 16 ounces. Doesn't even say in grams. Damn. And it's $1 each. So I thought, okay, yeah, sure. Cheap. Because I'm experimenting some recipes, so yeah. With sardines or. Oh yeah. Then I found the opposite of this. I found rare records, but in water damage condition. What's annoying is that I know the water damage was recent because the records were still wet, and he didn't find them like that. He didn't store them properly between the moment he found the box of records and that he brought them to the flea market. So I was so pissed off. So I got 2 records. They're very rare. L'infonie was a experimental jazz psychedelic band whose main artist was Raoul Duguay, who started making solo records after 4 albums by L'infonie. This is the first album, and it's only the second time I find this record. The first time I bought it around 30 years ago in a yard sale, where I've asked the man if he had records. He said yes, in the basement. I've asked him if I could look at them. He had some sort of cabinet in the basement. There was some jazz records. I bought a whole bunch of jazz records, and he had this one. But I think mine has a little defect on one side, but the cover is in great shape. So this one was the most damaged one. It's still wet as we speak, but I know at least it's not sewage damage like from last August 2024. Just a recent, like maybe you left them outside or in his, I don't know, people put them in sheds. It pisses me off. So the record plays pretty fine. I've put the records to dry here. I forgot how much this one goes for on Discogs. It's I forgot to look, but a few $dozen. This one is more rare. I don't have this one at all. Water. It suffered some water damage as well. I've tried to flatten it. You can see the stain here. It's still a little bit wet. This side here doesn't look as damaged, and at least outside it looks fine. There's a little drip there. I made a stupid mistake of drawing it like this earlier today, and it got crooked. I'm an idiot. Yeah, so now I'm stuck with a crooked cover. The record is here. It's this one, Mantra by L'infonie, their second record. It's closer. This one is a little bit better in terms of like listenable than this weird stuff. I was going to say another word. And this one is it sounds a lot like the experimental stuff by Zappa and the Mothers. Not as good, but if you like Zappa and the Mothers and their experimental jazz stuff, this is yeah. That one copy sold without any sleeve for $20. I forgot to say how much I paid for this. The guy wanted $5 for both. I was so pissed off at him that he stupidly let them get damaged by water, and those were the most damaged ones because they were at the beginning of the box. The rest was worthless stuff, untouched, barely touched by water. So I got it down to $4. There you go, $4 for. But yeah, that one averages about. There's 2 copies for sale. One sells for $79.99 and the other one for even more. The average is $90-something, but that's because a sealed copy got sold for $470-something. And a record with a torn damage on the cover and a water damage in the back, and the record about in less good shape than this one sold for $58. So
$4. I could have given $5 anyways, but man, I was pissed off that he didn't. People put records outside, pissed me off so much. They put it in the shed, they put it in. Especially since it was still wet, and I know it was his fault and not whoever owned the records before him. But yeah, so I'm glad I got this, and I will be able to keep the other cover I have from 30 years ago. It's only a second copy, so that was pretty cool. I'll have to put these back in sleeves. Then I found this was $4. Then oh yeah, I was tempted to buy this, so I've asked him how much, and he said he had 2 puppets. Oops, spoiled the two puppets, and he said $5 for both. So I was going to pay $5 for this one. So it's a Fraggle Rock puppet, of course. I think this is Gobo, and this is just a leopard. Too bad the whiskers all look crooked now. I've put some plastic bag to make him stand up and look fat. So $5 for these. So pretty. All the stuff that he found somewhere at someone's home was pretty clean, so they don't smell bad at all. And then last but not least, in a box of $1 records, mostly stuff I already have or didn't care for. Boom, Luc Elise, Les Alexandrins. And the record is in fine shape, like barely played, a tiny deletion hole, very good condition. I'm 97% sure I don't have this. I do have a 45 from it. Québec Nucléaire rings a bell. Duchesse de Marmelade, I know I have this on a 45. And so I checked it earlier on a stereo. Plays fine for $1. So that was my Saturday. I'm looking forward to going back tomorrow and see what I find. Thanks for watching.